Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, we're just gonna be seeing the baddest man on planet Earth. So let's just jump into the video and see this heavyweight just start destroying monsters, bro. Monsters.
Who is the most brutal heavyweight kickboxer of all time?
There's so many guys that have come out of Holland. Ernesto Hoost, Rob Kaman, Peter Aerts.
I don't know any of these guys.
Killers. Rico Verhoeven, the guy who's the champ right now.
He's the man.
Oh, he's an animal.
He beat that guy with killing everybody.
Oh my God, Mike Tyson.
Big crazy. He
Badr Hari.
Yeah, he was killing everybody.
Yes.
Amongst these legends, one legend stands out the most.
Yo, these are now heavyweights of Muay Thai?
This right here, fight fans, is the baddest man on the planet. His fighting style was both terrifying and beautiful at the same time.
Yo,
You see, Ernesto
dude.
Hoost was so good at destroying the monsters of his time that they called him Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect, is that right?
In any fighting
My
sport, the
goodness.
heavyweight champion of the world is an icon. Is
You
this
get a
legend like
crown,
I'm Mike
bro.
Tyson? You be the judge after learning his epic story.
All right, we'll be the judge. We'll be the
I'm the
judge.
most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one that can
Mike
match
Tyson
me.
of,
My
Muay
style
Thai
is
or
impetuous.
kickboxing?
My defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. Praise be to Allah.
Throughout his career, he's won 100 times and had a knockout
goodness, he doesn't
ratio
even
of
look that big.
60%, while fighting the best of his era.
Jeez, he doesn't actually look that big.
If
He's
Ernesto
tall.
Hoost never existed, it's entirely
Wow.
possible that kickboxing wouldn't have become such a big sport. You see, heavyweight kickboxing tournaments once represented the pinnacle of combat sports. It's where all of the superheroes of combat went to test their skills.
And this is like no weights.
The best of karate,
Anyone can come in.
Taekwondo, boxing, Muay
Let's go
Thai,
Taekwondo, baby!
Brazilian, Dutch, and
It's like their
American
own
kickboxing
MMA.
all came together to see who comes out on top. This exciting yearly event was called the K1 World Grand Prix.
Wow.
It was the most prestigious tournament in the world, with each fighter carefully selected in order to participate.
My goodness.
To
He
be
looks like
chosen,
Iron
they
Chef.
needed to go through a series of super fights against monsters, or already have legendary accomplishments going in. Once chosen, a 16-man and
Quarterfinal.
8-match tournament takes place. The quarterfinals, semi-finals,
These guys are
and the finals
huge.
match would happen all on the same night. This format was brutal, but it gave us some of the most epic storylines in combat sports history. And every fighter dreamed of becoming the World Grand Prix
Is this
champion.
all in one,
And make
like,
no mistake about it,
one competition
this was
year?
a mixed martial art competition without the ground game. In the late 90s and early 2000s, during the golden era of kickboxing, over 70,000 people showed up to watch this tournament. One man combined all the arts together, and by doing so, he ended up becoming the King of Kings.
The King of Kings,
Originally
okay.
a Savate-style kickboxer, Ernesto resembled the American kickboxers, and indeed fought under these rules and even won world championships.
Do you guys know who he is? Like, have you guys heard of him? I'm curious to know what your guys' comments about him are, because I'm just learning about these guys, and I haven't heard him in the comment section. You guys haven't mentioned him, so I'm curious.
While he was an elite fighter from the very beginning, in his early 20s he lost to several North American and Dutch legends. But in his early 30s, Ernesto combined the
What does
best
that
of
guy
Muay
look
Thai, Japanese kickboxing, and Dutch kickboxing into one brutally effective style. In the entire heavyweight division, he had the cleanest, most stable, and most powerful style. In the words of Bruce Lee, Mr. Perfect adapted what is useful, rejected what is useless, and add what is specifically your own. By doing
Yeah,
so, he
makes
became
sense.
the greatest heavyweight kickboxer of all
Wow.
time, winning 4 K1 World Grand Prix titles. Many fight fans today do not understand the historic relevance of these kickboxing tournaments today,
Jesus,
nor are
look
they
at the
aware of the greatness
crowns.
of Ernesto Hoost.
Look at that
Today,
glory.
we will give it the justice it deserves. By the way,
Amazing.
these tournaments
Wow.
are coming back hosted by Glory Kickboxing, which we will get into later.
The Heavyweight Grand Prix was once the lifeblood of our sports, and it's finally coming back home. This December, Glory is launching the first annual Glory Grand Prix.
What? A 4-man heavyweight tournament? What is this? Is this new? Is this old?
And I'm very happy about that.
In exploring the story arc of Ernesto Hoost, fight fans automatically begin to understand the history and importance of K1 tournaments.
It's a Christmas present.
In 1993, the first K1 Grand Prix took place. A young Ernesto Hoost participated and was able to marginally defeat another legend, Peter Ertz, in the quarterfinals.
Don't know who that
in
is.
the semi-finals, however, he defeated the future UFC heavyweight champion Maurice Smith with style. It was one of the most beautiful head kick knockout setups. When Maurice weaved Ernesto's left hook,
other guy is huge.
notice how Ernesto framed Maurice's head, and they exchanged a right hook with each other. When they exchanged and Maurice tried to clinch up again, Ernesto shoved Maurice away with a stiff arm, blinding his opponent while throwing the lead high kick from the blind side. There was simply no getting up from that. This technique seems simple, but it is extremely difficult to execute.
Yeah, because you have to be pretty flexible. You have to like dislocate
In
your
the finals,
hip.
Hoost will face off against Branko Cikatic. Branko is probably the greatest knockout artist in heavyweight kickboxing history. In his amateur record, he has 152 wins and 138 were by knockout.
Looks like he has a
In his
mop on his
professional
head.
record, he has 87 wins and 82 of those were by knockout. Branko was at the peak of his career while Hoost was still developing as a fighter.
And these guys fought?
In a wild exchange, Hoost would land a left hook, but Cikatic timed a perfect right hook before Hoost could reset. And just like that, Cikatic would become the first ever K1 World Grand Prix champion, with his team celebrating the epic victory. This exchange shows the importance of punch recovery, as well as not moving into the power side of the opponent while throwing the left hook. But like any great champion, this prolific defeat only fueled him to keep going.
Bro.
At the end of the year, Hoost would join the light heavyweight K2 Grand Prix tournament. First, he would fight the Black Bruce Lee, Manson Gibson. If you don't know who that is, just know that he is the greatest fighter ever to represent Kung Fu and Taekwondo. Edging out a victory after a hard fight, Hoost easily defeated his next opponent, Adam Watt. To finish the fight, Hoost simply threw a high kick. Despite it being fully blocked by Watt, this fight shows that a block does not guarantee protection from a powerful head kick. It is true that Watt had already been knocked down.
He did a double block and he still got knocked out? That's a bad man. That's a bad man.
And he was still using the Hopi Karate and Taekwondo style that focuses on scoring and spinning attacks. Hoost, however, knows this style and had already fully transitioned to a powerful and stable stance by this stage of his career.
My God,
You can clearly see the weakness of this style when Watt did the fast inside low kick to Hoost's leg. And Hoost delivered a knockdown blow counter with his cross.
I get it.
These
Taekwondo
historic
sucks.
fights certainly represented the evolution of styles in striking, and each fight was empirical evidence of what to do and what not to do. In the finals, Hoost faced off against the legendary Muay Thai champion, Chang Puat Gyatsornret. If you don't know who Chang Puat Gyatsornret is, he changed kickboxing history by defeating Rick Rufus, the greatest American kickboxing champion, with low kicks. By doing so, it prompted the Americans to change their karate and boxing stance.
Wow, they fought each other. That's so
cool. He was facing a bigger and a fully transitioned opponent. In the third round, Hoost overwhelmed Chang Puat with an incredible flurry. And then Chang Puat got saved by the bell.
Dude, he has a strong head if you're gonna get kicked like that. Dang.
In the fourth round, Hoost delivered a perfect knockdown blow, countering Chang Puat's southpaw jab with a perfect cross. But like he always does, Chang Puat got up and fought until the very end. Hoost mercilessly went into another flurry, landing all shots at will, and then herded Chang Puat into his signature left hook high kicks. This made Hoost the inaugural K2 Grand Prix champion in the same year he lost in the finals of the K1 Grand Prix. Then in 1994, Hoost avenged the loss against arguably the greatest American kickboxer, Rick Rufus.
Oh, it's Ricky!
Again, it was using the left hook to invite a weave, and then framing Rufus's head on the way up to herd him into a high kick knockout.
Ow, dude, so is this his like go-to move? He's done this like 3 times.
Despite being on fire with 11 victories in a row,
Rufus got big,
Hoost would fight Branko again and lose in the exact same way as he did the first time.
Oh, they exchange.
But again, just like any real combat legend would, Hoost did not give up. In 1995, Hoost defeated Andy Hoog, only to lose to him in 1996 in the K1 Grand Prix semi-finals. But on the way, he would knock out Mirko Cro Cop,
Oh, is that
a
Cro
boxer
Cop?
turned kickboxer turned superstar MMA fighter.
I've never seen him
In
with
this
that much
fight,
hair.
Hoost showed how to land thunderous low kicks and also how to land a perfect nut shot. By this point of Hoost's career, he is near perfection. His strikes would later become textbook techniques around the world, representing
Really?
a style of power and stability that works against all styles.
So he basically was so good, and everything, all the techniques that he used in kickboxing were so near to perfect that people were actually learning from him, like the things that he used in the ring and the way he countered and the way he attacked. Is that correct?
Throughout the fight, Cro Cop simply got low kicked so many times that he could not continue.
Wow, holy. What happens when you get low kick? Like, is it just
In
like
1997,
the muscle
a prime
just hurts?
Houst has arrived. In the 1997 K1 World Grand Prix, he faced up against a roster of the biggest legends: Stefan Leko, Jerome Labana, Francisco Filo, and Andy Hoog. Against
Ooh, these guys
Leko,
are
Houst again
insane.
showed why it's a bad idea to throw a powerless inside low kick against him. In the quarterfinals, Jerome Labana tried to bully Hoost with aggressive combinations. Hoost, however, welcomed the combinations and finished the fight with an incredible non-stop flurry.
wow.
Unless you are Bob
Wow.
Sapp, it's generally
Yo, Hoost
a
is
bad idea to
gorilla.
exchange power combinations with Hoost. The Japanese crowd went crazy, and you could feel the incredible energy in the stadium. Again,
does he
it was the
remind me of
cross
Joel
counter to
Embiid
the southpaw
and
jab
Wade
that
dances?
started the end. It happened not once, but twice during the flurry. As you see, even in the most seeming chaotic moments, there
And the
is
way they
method to the
drop.
madness. What I love
Ooh,
about
that's
this
a good
fight is how
uppercut.
much the Japanese
Damn.
fans celebrated these warriors. In the semi-finals, Hoost faced off against one of the greatest karate fighters of all time, Francisco Filo.
Oh, he actually.
Filo threw spinning kicks,
Really?
axe kicks, and side kicks,
Yeah, whoa.
while Hoost
whoa,
plodded forward,
whoa.
waiting to score power shots. Whenever Filo
Okay.
would try to exchange power
Yo.
with Hoost, it is clear
If he
that
knocks
Hoost's
out
textbook
Taekwondo guys,
techniques
he has to
were
knock out this
superior.
karate guy.
Filo's stance was optimized for karate kicks, but Hoost's stance was optimized for powerful punches and low kicks. Offensively, all Hoost needed to win this fight were variations of the left hook and low kick, as well as various simple low kick setups. The beauty of Hoost's style
goodness,
is that it shows advanced variations of simple techniques often defeats flashy techniques. This striking truth cannot be understated in its importance. In the finals, Hoost faced off against his great rival Andy Hoog.
So basically, they're just saying that he demonstrated that simple kicks are the best way to victory, and you don't really need to do that flashy spinning hook kicks and the back kicks and the whatever, like the jump twirl kicks.
Fight fans know Hoog as the most legendary non-Japanese Kyokushin karate fighter of all time, due to his accomplishments and influence in kickboxing. Hoog was the 1996 Grand Prix champion, and by that time, the biggest superstar in kickboxing history. His superstardom in his own country rivaled that of soccer, and in Japan, he was loved as one of their own, naming him the Blue-Eyed Samurai. In the epic 1997 rivalry match in the Grand Prix finals, Hoog began the fight with a huge nut shot.
You know, those things don't break.
When he got up again, as any real champion would, Hoost showed why so many athletes today choose a stable plodding stance over the more mobile hopping style. Each time they trade punches, Hoost clearly won every exchange. Hoog's attempt to throw axe
Wow,
kicks
that
and
axe
spin
kick,
kicks failed for the
yikes.
most part, and Hoost brought him into his game of trading mid-range power punches. On the inside, Hoost used clinch tactics to get the better of the exchanges too. Overall, it was a beautiful fight from both sides and a hard-earned victory from Hoost. At 32 years old, after all the trials and tribulations, he finally
crown.
became the best kickboxer in the world.
You have to work very, very hard for it. I'd worked for it the whole year. I trained very hard, and I'm glad that finally it pays off.
Hoost received
he the best?
$230,000 for winning the Grand Prix, which is the equivalent to about $500,000 today. In 1998, Hoost would
That's a
lose
lot
in
of
the
money.
quarterfinals against Sam Greco. But 1999 was yet another epic year for the legend. In the semi-finals, Hoost again knocked out Jerome Labana.
Oh,
Labana
and they
tried to
just
throw a
stand there,
power
bro.
inside low kick against Hoost, and due to Hoost's incredible stable
Good shot.
stance, he was unaffected by the shot and instantly countered with a power cross. When Labana southpaw jabbed again, Hoost countered it with the same technique. From here, Hoost simply flurried until he got the knockout.
Yeah, I feel like that's his go-to. Every time I see anything, it's like he would exchange, kick low, then he'd come towards them and just do a flurry of combos. Very cool to see. So these are the techniques that other people were learning and using to be able to, like, I guess, upgrade in their own way.
In the finals, it was Hoost versus Crow Cop again. To knock down the younger Crow Cop,
We gotta check
Hoost
him out.
cornered him. As they were hand fighting, Hoost feinted the cross once, with Crow Cop panicking. Then he instantly achieved a superior hand fighting position and launched the most powerful body cross I've ever seen. But Crow Cop was a warrior and got up right away, still squealing from the shot. To finish this fight, Hoost again cornered Crow Cop while feinting the body cross. As Crow Cop was concerned with blocking the body cross, Hoost went around for the left hook to deliver instead. The Japanese fans counted out loud together and celebrated as soon as Hoost won.
Dude, you must be strong to bring down Crow Cop. That guy
It's
looks
incredible
like a
that 5
bad
fans
man,
could
you
love
know?
kickboxing so much, with the energy so electric throughout the stadium.
Why the confetti
In the
always...
year 2000, Hoost would again win the Grand Prix title by defeating Crow Cop, Francisco Filo, and Ray Cepho. This cemented his legacy as the greatest kickboxer of all time, but he decided to keep going. Perhaps his greatest Grand Prix win was in 2002 due to the epic story arc. You see, in the year 2002, a man named Bob Sapp took the combat sport world by storm.
Sapp.
Transitioning from football and pro wrestling, he decided to take on the best MMA fighters.
Bob Sapp played NFL? Why does Sapp sound familiar? It sounds very familiar to me, and I don't know why.
And kickboxers with only a few months of training. The fans loved how reckless and powerful he was at the same time.
No way, you're not
The
allowed to do
Japanese
that.
ladies loved him.
Very beautiful.
Biggest human being I've ever seen in my life. 375 with abs.
When he fought like King Kong unleashed,
No
mauling
way,
everyone.
Brosif.
When Hoost fought Sapp, the only thing that Sapp had been dropped with was a nut shot. Being the best kickboxer of all time, Hoost vastly underestimated that beastly Sapp.
But he cannot fight, he cannot box. The things I saw, he's not a fighter, he's a player. You don't know that pain. Message to Bob? Yeah.
Going into this fight, Hoost was 21-1 in the last 3 years with an 11-fight win streak. This made him the baddest man on the planet.
Look at those
But
combos,
underestimating
man.
anyone that big and powerful is a mistake. With great strategy from the legendary MMA fighter Josh Barnett, Bob Sapp was able to corner Hoost and deliver knockout blows in their first fight. They knew that Hoost did not do well when being pushed back.
That
and
does
due
not
to
feel
Sapp being
good.
so powerful, it did not matter if there's a guard. As long
How do
as
you knock
Sapp could
someone
get
out like
Hoost to the
that?
ropes and start smashing there with his gorilla style,
Gorilla style, yeah.
he has a big puncher's chance. And that's exactly what happened. For the fight,
Jeez,
they
he's just
did not
getting
even train
ragdolled
any
in the
kicks
corner,
and worked
bro.
a lot on their conditioning. With just months of training and a great strategy, a football player somehow defeated the greatest kickboxer of all time.
Wow, unreal. But look at him. Obviously, he's
Many
just
people
like
were
bigger
confused
than the
and
ring.
upset by the results. But this fight shows that no matter how bad someone's technique is, or how inexperienced they are, their size and strength needs to be respected.
Oh my god.
So how exactly did Hoost go on to win the 2002 Grand Prix tournament if he lost to Sapp in the elimination round? You see, because Semi Shield was injured, Hoost got selected as the replacement in the quarterfinals. Once again, he would face Bob Sapp there. This time, Hoost was prepared.
Dude, that guy's a monster.
He had prepared for Sapp's wild charges, and rather than exchanging power punches with Sapp, he avoided the corners of the ring while delivering his signature
Yeah,
low
good idea.
kicks.
Ooh, good idea.
Rather
Avoid
than
the
using the
corner.
guard to block, he used evasions and sniped with the cross from the outside as Sapp chased him. Only when Sapp slowed down did Hoost start to use combinations, and eventually he put Sapp down with a left hook.
No, he didn't.
But then here, Hoost decided to throw longer combinations, which allowed Sapp to again charge effectively. This allowed Sapp to once again charge effectively and swing against Hoost's guard, whether it was on the ropes or in the center of the ring. Hoost decided to continue trading shots and hunt the left hook to the body in the pocket. But now Sapp started to block the body shot attempt, and he threw back a thudding left hook of his own to Hoost's head every time.
The lights? Oh.
The second time it happened, Sapp landed an all-out left hook as Hoost was transitioning into his right hook. This completely disrupted the stance and balance of Hoost, which allowed Sapp to deliver a perfect right hook to send his great opponent to the ground. When Hoost got up, Sapp went full gorilla mode. Now Sapp was able to frame and throw repeated haymakers. But Hoost continued to fight back and even rocked the beast once again to the body.
Yo, this is an animal, bro!
Just when it looks like Sapp was about to give up, he landed several big uppercuts which put Hoost to the ropes and in the corner. Once he did, Sapp went full gorilla mode again. With the brutal barrage of punches landing on Hoost, the referee saw enough and ended the fight. It was a great back and forth fight, but the referee decided to stop the fight when Bob Sapp had a good moment of wailing on Hoost. Hoost of course was not happy with the decision, as it was clearly bullshit. The Japanese promoters wanted Sapp to win and keep advancing in the tournament, so naturally when Sapp went to hug him, Hoost exited the ring right away. Ironically, Sapp couldn't continue in the tournament due to being too hurt from fighting Hoost, and Mr. Perfect was completely fine and was advanced into the semi-finals. So on the same night, instead of Sapp advancing in the K1 Grand Prix tournament, Hoost was the one who continued fighting. You wouldn't believe what happens next. There he fought Ray Sefo, fighting perfectly. The only thing Sefo landed was 2 body shots and the rest was all Hoost.
Bang.
After landing several stiff low kicks, Mr. Perfect quickly won with a beautiful knee check that spiked Sefo's low kick. And just like that, Mr. Perfect advanced to the Grand Prix finals.
Can he do it one more time?
Then in the finals, it was a very tough fight for Hoost, with Labana clearly winning the first 2 rounds. In the first round, Labana even punted Hoost in the nuts, but like a true champion, he fought on again.
A lot of nut shots.
But in the second round, Hoost threw a perfect roundhouse to Labana's arm. Labana tried to jab Hoost while he's kicking, meaning he would take the roundhouse on just one arm.
He broke that, didn't he?
Which is something you're never supposed to do against a powerful kicker. This sequence would repeat multiple times until Labana eventually couldn't continue. Hoost would let out a victory scream right away and danced and celebrated. To me, Hoost winning the 2002 tournament shows the power of grit better than any other event in history. He would break down and cry, flowing tears of joy from accomplishing the impossible.
It has been very tough for me after losing to Bob 2 months ago to get the spirit back and to fight. And I was lucky again when Bob beat me, I could go on.
Even Bob Sapp was tremendously happy for his rival, celebrating for him as he is presented with the award. Sapp would bow to Hoost and hug him. Hoost would break down and cry, flowing tears of joy from accomplishing the impossible. These tournaments gave us the greatest stories in combat sports history. Without these fighters, combat sports as we know it would simply not exist.
Man, these are so fun to watch. I honestly don't know anything about Muay Thai or kickboxing. I just know a little bit of the fighters. And right now I'm just learning more and more. I'm just picking some random fighters that I've never heard about. Now, if you did enjoy the content, make sure to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be looking forward to reading some comments down in the section below. But that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers for now. Peace.